discipline. Penalties are discipline.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I know what coach says publicly, and I know what he says privately because I've had this conversation with him. We went to the hall together in 2011.
Yes, sir.
Me and that man talked up until probably he got to Colorado. We would talk sometimes 2-3 times a week. Mm-hmm. So I know what he's trying to get done. But right now, Colorado is a very undisciplined football team, and it's hard to overcome those type of mistakes. It's hard. You've got to get out of your own way, and right now they're not getting out of their own way,
right?
And that's frustrating. 29 points.
Right.
Forget the defense. I don't care about the defense because guess what? When they score 7, guess what? They kick the ball off to you. You can go back down the field and score also. But they've got to do a better job. They've got to fix that. And coach.
Yo, we back with another one, blazing up the internet. And we talking about Coach Prime and his Colorado Buffaloes. And before we get into this video, make sure you like, subscribe, and please leave all comments below. Yeah, you just heard Shannon Sharp talk about Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes and how undisciplined they are. Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes are currently ranked last in the nation in penalties, as you see on my screen. Out of 130 teams, Colorado is ranked 130th in the nation, which is dead last. And to me, that just comes to discipline or lack of discipline that is inside the Colorado program. Colorado, the penalties that Colorado's committing is not only hurting them in losses, it's hurting them in wins. Games against Arizona State and the game against Colorado State, both of those games, in my opinion, should have been blowouts, but there wasn't because the self-inflicted wounds Colorado puts on themselves. Now, this week against Stanford, I truly believe that the penalties was a part. Now, it wasn't the whole story to the second half collapse, but it definitely was a big part. You up 29 points, and it's not, like I say, it's not just the penalties. It's also the lack of coaching adjustments Coach Prime and his staff did not do. I go back to the Colorado State game. The whole game in that game, the shallow crossing routes, Colorado could not defend it. Now we come to this game. For some reason, Coach Prime decided that he's going to leave Travis Hunter out there one-on-one with a 6'4", 213-pound wide receiver. And, Stanford just basically abandoned the running game and just say, you know what, we're going to throw it to number 13. Also in that game, they had 17 penalties for almost 130 yards. They actually had some penalties in which they had 2 penalties on the same play, which would have probably comes out to 20 penalties. Listen, if you're getting 17, 20 penalties a game, man, you're not going to beat anybody. And a 30-point lead is real easy to erase if the other team is getting help down the field through you guys' lack of composure and mistakes. Coach Prime and his coaching staff, man, they have a lot of work to do. When I see 130th in the nation, I see kids not focused. I see kids probably smelling themselves. I see kids locked in on the attention and not locked in on assignments. I mean, I'm watching the game, and Coach Prime is trying to talk to number 23, and he's giving give back to Coach Prime. Man, you was getting toasted the whole game. You shouldn't have been saying nothing but just listening to Coach Prime. And I'm seeing a lot of that. I'm seeing a lot of guys talking back through whether it's their internet or just watching the game. I'm seeing guys giving feedback when they should really just be quiet because you're not holding up your end of the bargain on the field. And Coach Prime and his coaching staff, I really hope that they figure out a way to get to the kids. I think the one thing is to bench them, but I think in Coach Prime position, this is why somebody like number 23 is getting toasted and he's still in the game, because I just don't think he has the Jimmy and Joes to replace some of these guys. Now we look at his upcoming schedule. He got a daunting schedule, but if you really break it down, this upcoming game against UCLA, he's going up against a freshman quarterback in Dante Moore, who's made a lot of mistakes. So, but they're coming off a big win against Washington State. So, that's a toss-up game to me. Oregon State is a hot team. I definitely see an L in that game. Oregon State offensive line and their skilled people, I just think will be too much for Colorado defense. The next game on the list, Arizona. Right now, Arizona's playing better than Colorado. I'm just going to tell you straight up. So if you ask me who's going to win that game, I'm going to say Arizona. Arizona's hot. This quarterback they have, I think number 4, I don't want to mess his name up, so now I'm not going to call out his name. He's hot right now. They took USC down to the wire. I think a double or a triple overtime game. I really not for sure. And they just smashed house Washington State. So right now, in my opinion, I'm gonna take Arizona in that game, even though the game will be played in Boulder. The next game, Washington State. Washington State's kind of let down to me. Cam Ward, I thought was better than this. I was hyped about Cam Ward, but the last couple of weeks and last week against UCLA, he really didn't deliver. But the game will be played at Washington State, and I see that game as a toss-up. Actually, right now I'm leaning more towards Colorado only because I think Shador is playing better than Cam Ward. But who knows? That game is going to be played in Washington State. It's not going to be a game everybody's going to be talking about once again. So even though I'm leaning towards Colorado, I won't be shocked if Washington State wins that game. And the last game against Utah, let me say this last game in Utah, and I'm just going to be going on the record with this. Utah might set the national sack record against Colorado. I've seen enough evidence of Utah defense to know they are for real. And I've seen enough evidence to see that the offensive line use of Colorado is horrible, and Shador Sanders holds on the ball too long. Now, this last game, he was running, but in the second half, he deviated back to the same thing, holding the ball too long. And I think Utah has a real chance to break the national sack record against Colorado. I see a 10-plus sack game, Utah versus Colorado. I don't see Colorado scoring 17 points. I don't see them scoring 17 points. And I like Utah to have 7-plus sacks. That's just my prediction for the game. It's down the road, but we'll see. Hopefully Colorado by then will get their offensive line in order and back in structure. But yeah, man, I see a daunting schedule for Colorado coming up. And let's see how it's going to go. And with that, we're out of here. And make sure you like, subscribe, and please leave all comments below. Till the next time.